It's Mike Krause with the Fisherman magazine. We're here today at the Steigercraft factory in Bellport, New York with Dreamboat 2024 Grand Prize first place winner, Kyle Krause. First off, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mike.
It's not every day somebody wins a boat and has the ultimate bragging rights in fishing in the Northeast, because when you win the Dreamboat contest, literally, you kind of one-upped everybody else in the contest, and you did it by a big margin this year. And I'd like to just give a little bit of an insight first to what the Dreamboat is for those of you who don't know. The Dreamboat Fishing Challenge, we've been partnering with Steigercraft now for just about 6 years, and it's a season-long, multi-species, point gathering, subscriber-only fishing competition where anglers compete with 7 different species, all saltwater, all inshore, and the guy with the most points at the end of the contest becomes the grand prize winner. We have a second place winner. He is going to Panama on an incredible Tropic Star vacation, and a third place prize as well with a Sea Eagle inflatable boat. But this behind me, this beautiful boat right here, is grand prize, complete with Humminbird and Minn Kota and Yamaha outboard power. A really beautiful prize package. But what we really want to do here today is learn a little bit about the boat itself, but really want to get Kyle's story. Kyle, I mean, you had first place bluefish, first place sea bass.
Yep.
You had the 5th place, was it the wheatfish, and then the 2nd place, top.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. And so you accrued the most points out of anybody else, and that's what got you the win.
Right.
Tell me what it's like what your strategy was like. What could you share about how you fished with other anglers that might get involved in this in the future?
So strategy changed as the season went on. Obviously, we were talking about earlier how I was the 2nd place winner last season in the 2023 challenge.
That's right.
And I used some similar tactics from last year. Kind of followed years past calendars and checked to see what times of years certain species were running. Obviously weak fish is a big springtime fish, so I targeted them first thing right out of the gate, Peconic Bay, and I hit it hard for a couple weeks there just to make sure I solidified a solid fish on the board. I actually upped my fish out of the gate, so I had a maybe 5 and change pound weak fish that I eventually up to a 6.5 pound fish, and helped me get that 5th place spot on the board. Yeah. So doing things like that definitely help out. I had to make a couple changes along the way because I expected maybe the spring bluefish and porgy run to be a little bit better in the bay for me, and I was planning on tackling one of those species early on, but that didn't work out for me, and I had to kind of change my game plan moving forward with that. So.
Gotcha. Definitely strategy of right out of the gate when we start this thing in May, try to get on the board, and the biggest weak fish are in the spring.
Right.
So if you can nab one of those and get on the board, you're off to an excellent start, and so that's what happened. The span or the geographic area is from Maine all the way down to Delaware. So you're competing with people within that whole geography who have different kind of seasonality, and it's all about when that window of trophy fish are going to be in your area. We purposely make entering a fish a bit more of a challenge. We have minimum weights. We don't want needlessly to bring fish to the scales. When you incentivize the catching of fish to this degree, we want to have a kinder, gentler, in terms of the fishery type of contest, and so that's why.
Right.
You got to meet those minimums.
You bring up a good point with that.
Yeah.
There's obviously some fish I wasn't able to make the board with. I towards the end of the season, I was trying to up my game with a larger porgy. I didn't have a porgy on the board, and these things sound a lot easier to catch than they are sometimes. But a 2-pound porgy is not it's not an easy fish to catch like some people think. Or a 2-pound sea robin. I fished days and days in Shinnecock Bay trying to catch a sea robin to weigh in on the board, and out of all the fish, I couldn't make the cut with it.
The
bluefish bluefish, 15-pound minimum. That's a tough fish to catch.
That's right.
You know, it takes a lot of dedication, early mornings.
Yeah.
You know, really targeting you know, your windows of opportunity. That was specifically what I did with the bluefish there.
Yeah.
You know, you get your bigger bluefish end of August, September into October, and that's what I did to make that one work for me. So it's really working on those you know, weather windows, the you know, tides, and when those fish are running. So.
Okay, well, that's definitely the name of the game. I mean, this is, you know, it kind of engages you as an angler. If you're fishing for the dream boat, I would think your mindset throughout the year is always trying to unravel. Where am I going to find a trophy? Where am I going to find a trophy sea robin? Okay? When was the last time you sweated to catch a sea robin? It's when you want to catch them that you can't, right?
That's it. Yeah, yep. I had friends made fun of me because I was targeting them specifically. You know, nobody would go fishing with me. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah. You know, there's a lot of great anglers, and you know, there was some changing of positions throughout the year. We're going to get back to a bit more of the drama about the dream boat in a minute, because I really want Alan to give us a little insight into this boat. Tell us a little bit about the boat, Alan.
Okay, we designed this boat in 1990 up in Maine with Northern Marine.
And what model is this one?
This is a 21 Classic.
21 Classic.
And it was kind of like a Ray Hunt design. They worked on the boat a little bit, and this has been one of our popular boats since 1990.
Yeah.
It's a great inshore boat. It's very stable, it's fast, it burns very little fuel, and it's just a great boat to have around. So that's how we started building it. There's no wood in it at all. Everything's composite now. Cruiser board in the transoms, Eric's in the decks and everywhere. So everything, there's no core in the hull, so it's all 100% solid. Transferable lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
So the boat holds a lot of value.
And it's built right here where we're standing. In fact, the boat is in production.
Well, the factory's in the back.
Factory's in the back. Well, this is the rigging area of
Yeah,
the
which is
factory.
in the rigging area.
So we're in Bellport, New York at Steiger Craft. And this boat's rigged with a Yamaha 150. And it's got a Humminbird Solex 10-inch on it, and for the fish finder,
And a Minn Kota.
and a Minn Kota. Getting back to the contest,
Right.
I mean, so you know, you get through the middle of the year, and you know, people are jockeying for position, and you know, you're waiting for these other seasons to kind of come into play, like bluefish, like tog, and that tog category got pretty competitive.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the end game.
How
like,
big was the blackfish you caught?
8.95 was my blackfish. So that's a solid blackfish.
That's a good
Again,
blackfish.
you think you know, you think a double-digit tog is an easy fish to catch, which I was telling the story earlier. I told it to Matt Broderick.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that really drove me home early in the spring was the spring blackfish season. I had my personal best and a double-digit fish right out of the gate in April.
in April.
But the tournament isn't open.
We start in May.
Yeah. So I
Well, we
mean,
just
that
like
was
this.
a, you know, hey, that was a banner moment, banner trip for me, where you know, caught my personal best, and it gave me a little extra drive where I'm saying maybe someone's looking down on me this year, and you know, maybe I get the extra push I need.
I will say, there's part of the rationale behind starting in May. You got to remember, people up north from us in Massachusetts and Rhode Island and Connecticut, even Maine, can enter this contest. Not much going on up there in April.
Right.
So we're trying to balance out the playing field from a regional standpoint and what's available. So that's, I'll speak to that in that way.
Yep. Yeah. So I'd say once I caught that bluefish, that solidified me where, you know, I was gaining in points, and I said, okay, this is you know, this is within reach again this year,
Right.
where we're coming into our best seasons now. We have, you know, blackfish, sea bass, and I can still catch a porgy, you know,
Sure.
if I need, and that's what I worked on. I was hitting it hard on sea bass, hitting it hard on blackfish. I hit a couple of the same spots, you know, some rec numbers I have that I thought would pay off, and sure as anything they did. Some of those fish came off the same numbers as they did the year prior.
Yeah.
So obviously I grew up on the water from before I could walk. My dad had a 21 block island growing up.
Wow.
I think similar in hull design to this boat, obviously not the center console version, but I spent many summers fishing with my dad on that boat, and you know, we took it out ocean fishing, Shinnecock Bay, and
What year boat was that?
that was a 91.
And you had a hunky-dory too, right?
I had a hunky-dory back when I was 15 or 16 years
What
old.
year, what year was that?
Wow.
The hunky-dory was an 87.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, you're an East Ender from Long Island, Cutchogue or
Right.
Cutchogue? Okay, East End, North
Yep.
Fork.
Born and raised on the North Fork.
Yeah.
Yep. And
See, I'm not that old. My grandfather started this company. I've only been working there for a few years. No, I actually started the company in 1974. So we're here over 50 years.
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's just, I love, kind of hearing the stories from you and from prior winners, because they all kind of attack or have the strategy or are tactical in the same way. You're really just trying to, we all fish to try to catch big fish, but there's an urgency, I think, with
Definitely.
when you really engage in Dreamboat.
there's an urgency and even a sense of emergency when the weather starts to play against you.
Yeah,
You know,
I bet.
we had that towards the end for sure. That had me sweating for a while because I couldn't get out on the water at all.
It was a windy fall.
Oh,
Right.
it certainly
really
was.
bad for blackfish. I mean, I only get out 5 times, and I normally get out 20 times. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of wind this year.
Yeah, I ended up with a lot of extra green crabs down at the dock this year.
Yeah, Dreamboat is, I said it before, a fisheries-friendly style tournament. We have those aggressive minimum weights. And the other thing we did many years ago is we completely removed striped bass from the equation. Striped bass is not one of the 7 species that you could weigh in. We didn't want the added pressure. Again, look at the incentive we're putting on to catch fish. And so, it's
Well,
fisheries.
now with the new regs,
Well-
you can't catch a big fish anyway.
Well,
so-
the slot limit would have been more difficult to do, and we can't weigh them in unless they're in that slot. So things change, fishery changes, and we got to think as your strategy is all about the ecology, what's going on, where the bait is, what the weather's like, and where those big fish are.
Right.
But we all love to fish. That's why we do, because we love to fish. But it must make it really exciting when you're in contention on this thing.
Oh, yeah.
The whole season's like,
It makes it.
Well, I mean, simply asked, how do you feel?
It feels amazing. I mean, put it this way. One way or another, I'd be fishing on the water. It's an added step, weighing these fish in. There's no secrets to the tournament.
Right.
It's a subscribers only tournament at the end of the day.
Right.
It's my subscription fee and spending a lot of time on the water, and here's the payoff behind me.
Yeah.
I can promise you I spent a lot more time on the water than I would without the competition. But in the end, it's worth it. I have a lot of, great memories, and obviously a boat to show for it at the
and the boat's
at
worth
the end
about
of it all.
80,000, so you did good.
Not bad, not bad. Well, I know you'll be a fantastic ambassador for Steiger Craft, Yamaha, Humminbird, Minn Kota, and certainly the Fisherman too. Honored, couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and really the talent is what got you there. A lot of people say fishing is luck, but you hear it here about strategically how you have to approach fishing, and that's one of the great things, right? Unraveling the mysteries, and sometimes it pays off. It can pay off for you too. Stick with us as we unveil the 2025 Dreamboat and anything we do. You got to be a subscriber to the Fisherman, where you can get the insight into what's happening on a weekly basis and more. Through our website, thefisherman.com, and the Fisherman magazine. So, check us out, learn more about Kyle and about Steiger Craft, especially. We've got so much content for Steiger Craft on the website. Go check it out. Go to his website. Support our sponsors and read about Kyle's complete story in our January issue of the Fisherman magazine. Thank you guys, and once again,
Thank you, Mike.
congratulations. I couldn't be happier.
Alan, thank you, and thank you to Yamaha, Minn Kota, Humminbird, all for the awesome package.
Yeah.
It's a great fishing package.
I just want to say that this boat is not finished yet, so
Yeah, this boat doesn't look like this at the end.
yeah, it's still under construction, but
Yeah.
you can see it at the New York Boat Show.
That's right. That's right. And many other Steiger Crafts and Yamahas and all the other great
boats
sponsors that will be there as well. We'll show some photos of the finished boat as you actually take delivery of it.
Okay.
But until then, once again, thanks everybody. Mike Krause with the Fisherman magazine. Tight lines.